This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. So what I'm going to do today, I want to go through a specific example of a pullback trade, and I want to use all of the things that we talk about. I go through a lot of the examples I use are one specific example of either MACD or ADX, but in this one, I want to cover kind of everything on both time frames and show you how we can turn this into a process. If you're going to be successful at this trading game, I think you have to be process-oriented, not results-oriented. Don't think about how much money you're going to make. Think about following your plan. All right. If you can follow your plan and you can call it a yes trade, that means I did everything I was supposed to do on my plan. Whether you make money or not is less important. All right. So I want to go through that. Now, before I get into this, if you want to learn more about some of these techniques, I would suggest starting with my book. It's at rabilstockresearch.com/book. I'm going to cover a lot of the things that I go into in the book on today's video. All right. So for this video, I want to use CME. All right, CME group. And I have the 4 time frames up, but I really want to focus in on weekly, daily setup. All right. And I want to show you the different things that we should be on the lookout for and when we should be ready to take trades and when we should be looking to take maybe a little bit more confirmation, something like that, and how we want to use the upper time frame to really help us in a situation like this. All right, so we're looking at the CME on the weekly chart. We break out of this base area, and just to show you, let's just look at this was taking place in October of 2024. We get this breakout move, takes it up to about 250, and then pulls back to this 225 area. So strong move to the upside, and then we get a pullback. All right. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to keep the monthly up is that that's this area right here. So we broke through this key level. We failed at this level on the way up, but then pulled back in an orderly fashion back and held this support zone as this was coming out of this kind of pinch play oriented zero line reversal type pattern. And notice what was taking place with the ADX pattern as that was improving. Green DI was getting going for the first time in quite some time after a low ADX condition. All right. So we want to know we have this in our back pocket. And the reason is that when we have this rising ADX condition and green DIs moving up on the high time frame, the upper time frame, it really increases our odds if we want to just play, a pullback trade on this time frame. All right. So if we play the pullback trade on this time frame, we time it on this time frame, we use the risk on this time frame, the odds are we can kind of sneak in and sneak out during a part of this, big move on the upper time frame. All right. So let's just zero in a little bit and talk about what we look for. So you get strong move to the upside. You get confirmation in MACD. What does confirmation in MACD mean? Well, for me, it is I want to go back to the last pivot high. So we make a pivot high here. We made a pivot high here. So we're moving like this. We want to go and look. I don't even think any of these qualify. So there's your moves, right? So we had a pivot high here. We want to go back and look at the MACD at that level. As we cross up here and move up, we want to make sure that MACD is confirming that move right there. All right. We want to do the same thing with the green DI. We want to make sure green DI is also confirming. And you can see that's made a new high. Back here, green DI was way down here below 25. Now we're making, a nice move above 25 and confirming this move to the upside. Now, in the process of doing that, because this is a more of a trend play, and how do I know this is a trend play pullback, is because the 18 is above the 40 and both lines are rising at about the same rate. That's a lot different than if we try to play a reversal signal. Like if we're trying to play it down here as a reversal or a 1, 2, 3 type pattern, then that's a little bit earlier. When we're playing the parallel line signal, we've got a trend. We've already got a confirmed trend, and we're trying to play this move and see if we can't play along with that move. All right. Now, I know some of you might be looking at this saying, when this pulled back, we got overrun here. And doesn't that mean we don't take this trade? To me, that's not what I do. All right. What I do is I go down to the smaller time frame and I look for, I'm looking for a little bit more confirmation. So let's just look at that on the daily chart. I've already scrolled back so we can see. So this is the pullback. This is the ABC pullback on this time frame that coincides with that pullback that caused overrun in the signal line on the MACD. If you notice, it caused this overrun on this time frame too. See how we overran the zero line? A lot of times you will get similar situation when this, not every time, but a lot of times you'll get a zero line break on one time frame. And at the same time, you're getting overrun of the signal line on this time frame. It's a good kind of rule of thumb to be on the lookout for. So what does that mean? It means that I'm not going to take the first trigger. The moment I'm not going to take a trend line break. I'm not going to just take it as soon as it crosses above the 40. I'm waiting for this to pull back. All right, we want to get that pullback pattern to set up, and once that takes place, let me erase all this again. Once that takes place, where we're looking to buy on this pullback right near the 18, which is now cupping around and forming a pinch play. Now, one of the things I would tell you is, and the other thing we want to be on the lookout for as this is taking place here, is as we make this C portion of the decline, we want to make sure the ADX isn't crossing above 25 during this phase. All right. If it is, then we need even more confirmation. We need to make sure green is getting back above. Now, in this case, it wouldn't have mattered. But in a lot of cases, you want to know whether that ADX is crossing above. And if it's greater than the last green peak, then we don't take the trade. It erases the trade. All right, we just move on and look for something else. But if we get this ABC correction like this and ADX stays below, then we're switching over and we're focusing on the MACD and we're saying, is there overrun? If there is overrun, then we're gonna take the second entry here. All right, we're not gonna take the first one. We're not gonna take the crossover signal below the zero line. Okay, we're gonna wait and play the first pullback. And I generally am looking for the first pullback to the 18, which is cupping around. That's typically what I'm trying to find if there's overrun on this time frame. All right, so that's essentially what we're trying to accomplish here. Now, if we go and we look at that pullback, and if you notice, we have the pinch play as a trigger. All right, now you can play that as a trigger if you want. What I would suggest, though, if you're playing this pattern, a lot of times I will probably wait for it to close and make sure that we get a pinch off the close. And then I use my ATR that I talk about in the course, two ATRs as a initial stop level. And that's how I kind of build the plan off of that, where my targets will be and when I'll raise the stop and all that. So we want to make sure that so what I don't like to do in a situation like this where everything is looking really good, I don't want to get whipped around in this trade. So normally, if I'm looking for the higher pivot low, that means we got to close above the low bar. Okay, this is right out of my course. I give these details, a lot of these details. I know in the book, in the section where I talk about the 2 time frame pinch play, talk about taking it the moment it takes out this prior bar's high, and I give a lot of examples, all right, of a 2 time frame pinch play. I don't have a problem with that, all right? However, I don't typically want to use the pinch play as a trigger in most cases. I want to use that as the higher time frame. All right. Now, in the book, what I'm doing is teaching you, I'm giving you an approach that you can use and create 20 to 25 trades with and follow a plan that I'm giving you. I'm giving you a flat out plan that you can use that will likely make you money. I mean, I guess it does depend on the market environment, but the point I'm trying to make is you're going to get through 20 to 25 trades and you're going to be a better trader at the end of that. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's how I would take all those trades. I'm trying to teach you something, how to trade in multiple time frames in that section of the book. I think it's an incredibly helpful exercise. Once you get through the end of that, you get through 20 to 30 trades and you follow the plan to a T, then I think you can add some flexibility to that. Now, if you look at this, if you play it off the higher pivot low and you wait for that close, you're not really giving up that much. All right, and now we've got our higher pivot low at the 18, which is now turning up. You do have the pinch and you have green DI starting to kick in again. And then you can be in for what should be the next leg on this move. Okay, and what it also is a part of the leg of this move with the ADX starting to kick in for the first time for a long time. So this is the epitome of what I am trying to find. So the reports that I send out on Wednesday, I send out a report on Wednesday that gives a lot of different ideas. All right, and a lot of times I will put the report out that's showing the breakout of this stock. All right, it'll show up on the list first there. All right, and if you're not a breakout player and you like to play pullbacks, then you have to wait. You got to let this play out a little bit. You got to have some patience, and then you got to watch it pull back, and then you're going to look for your trigger. All right, you're keeping your own watch list. I teach this to all of the subscribers. This is how they use those lists. They watch my list, but they also keep a subset of my lists that are ones that they're watching very closely. And you need to stalk this and keep an eye on it and wait for your trigger after it sets up. All right, but it's really nice to know that you're playing with the bigger picture trend. It increases your odds. Your odds will definitely increase if the upper time frame is playing in tune, meaning we have a signal on this time frame that's still in force, a low ADX breakout pattern that is kicking into gear. I've got the wind at my back, and then I'm playing the first pullback after it breaks out. I mean, this is a great trade to be on the lookout for. I hope this is sinking in. We're talking about the first pullback in a pretty big pattern. We get that pullback. We've got good strength in the momentum. Now, as I said, sometimes you get a little overrun. It doesn't necessarily show up as a pullback on this time frame, but clearly it showed up as a second entry on this time frame, and that totally qualifies for what I'm trying to do. All right. And then if you notice, actually, we had pretty good momentum on the daily chart here based on the ADX and the MACD. And then we went down, and during the decline, we didn't have a lot of strength in the sellers, as I mentioned. We had the overrun, but notice how when we crossed above the zero line, green DI got going again, and then all of a sudden, a little bit later, ADX started to kick in and confirm the move. So that's this is the epitome of what we're trying to accomplish, trading a weekly daily, taking advantage of the bigger trend and playing this as a portion of that trend. Now, I know it can be tempting to take a trade where you've been going up and you have really strong momentum and all that, but most of the time, the highest probability trades are going to be you can get the first or second pullback in the move. This was a little sloppy, all right, but that was the second pullback. This first pullback was nice and orderly, right to the breakout area. Moving averages are moving up at about the same rate. So that is really what the epitome of what we're trying to find in the pullback trade. If you stick with looking for these type of patterns, your win rate is going to skyrocket, and the size of your wins are also going to go up. All right, hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.